JT Runke, author of a new book titled Stop and Listen, a dive into the cognizant art of music. Wow, that's a mouthful. This work is classified as an autoethnography over the cultures and impact and influences that exist within Mr. Runke's life. Welcome, JT. It's a pleasure to have you on the program today. I apologize we aren't able to meet in person, but with the situation arising with COVID-19, it's best we stay safe and communicate over the air, and I hope all our viewers are doing the same too.
Thank you, Zeke. I'm happy to be here to talk about my autoethnography and the topic at hand with music and its cultures.
So firstly, what do you mean by music and its cultures?
So during my research over the topic, I realized and understood the different ways in which we all experience life, and it's what makes these intersections of cultures so magnificent. Whoever we are, wherever we are, we all have a form of connection with each other, and through music, it is one that is so grand that it brings us all together. And it's something I'll touch more on throughout my book if you go ahead and give it a look to all the viewers out there.
So when people think about music and cultures, the way it impacts us doesn't really come to mind. So why is this topic so important to you?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Zeke. So growing up, I was the only boy surrounded by women and their interests that never really resonated with me. This left me in a state of constantly trying to figure out who I was and what it was I wanted to choose for myself. Not having a place to draw inspiration from, I turned to the one thing that helped express my feelings for me, and that was music. Music was the turning point of my life that was there for me through each and every situation. And I believe that's something that a lot of people can relate to, but never really start to think about.
Wow, that's a really interesting story. Why do you think it is that we don't look at music this way?
So the reason I believe we don't dig deeper into music or try to understand why it's so integral to our daily lives is because it's become such a norm in our society that it's almost essential to everything we are a part of. Ever since the first centuries of time, music has existed, and its culture surrounding has always played a huge role in the lives of individuals, which is descended to where it is now. In my autoethnography, I actually touch over this subject with the times of Shakespeare, where during that time, music was considered as an essential, and it was deemed a symbol of power. And those in the hierarchy of society were the ones who were allowed to play instruments or those who were allowed to receive it.
So getting back to your new book, you describe the appeal of music. What would you say that is exactly?
The appeal of music is something that is so complex but yet so simple, because personally the way it affected me can be so different from another individual, but the root of it all remains the same. An article written by Philip Watkins titled "How Do One's Circumstances Impact Happiness?" The idea of why music correlates with individuals is answered as simply being a matter of psychology. Just like different hobbies, activities, and ideas exist for other people, music works the same way in which someone can find comfort or relation to a certain form of art. So therefore, music is defined by the author as subjective and important to those who feel strongly related to what they're encountering.
So, as you speak over your extensive research, I can't help but wonder, what has been the most interesting piece of information you have encountered throughout your writing process?
Wow, that's a tough one. I would most likely go with some information that I learned over the sociology of music, which was touched over in the Harvard Dictionary of Music written by Don Randall. What this book speaks over is the fact that there is a main focus that revolves around music and its interdependence. And you may be wondering what interdependence is, and this is defined as the dependence of two or more people or things over each other. And music is seen as the form of art that relies on the connection of others for the influence and its impact that it carries across centuries, regardless of the way it is represented. For example, this could be why society during a specific historical period produced a certain type of music, how the historical nature and progress of society are affected by the production and reproduction of music, and how musical, social, and cultural structures might be related to one another, all of which find their way relating to the research questions that surround my topic of music and the cultures within them all.
You know, I really could see that you're very passionate over your autoethnography and the information at hand. So, what do you feel has been the closest you have felt to music and its influence between your cultures and others as well?
The passion for the art of music is something that is very important to my life and others as well. And one of the moments that I can definitely recall back to where I myself played in a role being part of a cultural intersection was when I was playing the music. Not only did I become a larger part of music itself, but I understood from the other side of the spectrum, and I was able to see its impact across those listening.
It's crazy that you bring that memory up because we actually have a picture of it right here. You also mentioned the power and importance that lyrics have on you. Could you elaborate more on that?
Of course, I feel that words are the easiest way to connect with others, with not only getting an idea of what they're feeling, but you're also able to interpret it in your own way as well. I actually hold a journal where I personally write my favorite ones that I connect to the most.
Both in your autoethnography and your own persona, you express self-awareness. How does that
Well,
come
when it
about
comes
in
to
your
music,
life?
it's just about being aware of the culture and those surrounding it. It is easy to get sucked up into your own thoughts and perceptions over many things, especially with music, because it kind of holds some personal and sentimental value to you. But when you go to dive into other cultures and their experiences, it is easy to find the similarities between each other and how you intersect with each other with something just through music.
Okay, well, JT, our time is just about up. I know we've only touched on some of the ideas and techniques in your practical, handsome new autoethnography, and I know this has become your 15th New York Times best-selling piece, so I can't wait to explore more of your work. I would shake your hand, but, thank you for coming by, JT.
Thank you for having me, Zeke, and I can't wait to meet again. And thank you to all the viewers out there. Make sure to go ahead and go get my autoethnography. Thank you.